Hey there, what's up? I'm just playing around with the Sony A6500. I've heard it's a cool camera for vloggers. So I'm gonna wander around, maybe go get a haircut, and then we'll just see how we like it. It's funny to use expensive pieces of camera equipment for silly things, so let's do that. So far, the most notable thing about this camera is that it's really small. The body's super small, and then you have to put a massive lens on it. I mean, you don't have to, but I put a massive lens on it, so that's a little weird. But that's like the main thing so far, is just the physical smallness and cheapness feeling of this Sony thing. So, I mean, I've used other Sony cameras. I've used the FS5 and FS7 a little bit, and they're both huge, fucking huge cameras. But yeah, it's really small, so excited to play around with it more. I mean, so and so small, you're like, oh, that's compact. But then when you put any lens that you would, any lens you'd be interested in using on it, it gets huge. So it shows that I don't know enough about small lenses. There's probably some great ones, but anyway, I'm basically recovering from the Treehouse meetup right now. It was amazing. It's super fun to talk to everybody, meet everybody. A lot of people you never met that you work with in a Slack channel, whatever. But man, I am tired. It's like 3 o'clock and I want to be in bed. But yeah, anyway, super fun, but just recovering. Wonderful to see everybody though. I'm sure everyone is feeling the same way too, like so happy to be headed home. I've consumed a lot of alcohol. I need to work on my relationship with alcohol, and maybe we don't need to see each other for a while. And we can talk again in the future, but for now, I'll call you. You don't need to call me, okay? We'll be in touch. This couch has been sitting here for a long time. You probably have a couch like this in your neighborhood. So now it appears that I'm kind of randomly exploring the neighborhood, so I'm just gonna tell you a few things. This place behind me, the fish and chip shop, seems like it'd be really cool. It's called the TARDIS Room, like has a Doctor Who theme. It's bigger inside than it appears. I've never had a good experience there. Seems like it'd be amazing. On the other side here, we've got Garage East, which is this rad wine bar, and then up north, which is like a California bar. So you probably can't hear me because it's so loud with all the cars, but this is like one of the shittiest things about living in Portland, and it's the highway. I-5, it's like the only highway in Portland, and so it's the only way you can get to Vancouver, really, or like even to go leave Portland and head south. So like if you take a look, it's just like basically in a standstill. It maybe doesn't appear that from here, but like it's literally slowing down now, and it's like only 3 o'clock-ish, right? But basically, it's only, yep, here it goes, totally slowing down. It takes about an hour to get a mile. But yeah, it's the only route. You see these are all trucks too, so right? So it's like a major truck route even, so it just slows down shipping, period, to have this crazy distraction. Let's go and find the other way. That's from Vancouver, Washington, but to Vancouver is just terrible. And this is the gateway to Seattle, folks. So behind me right now is Cerveza. It's my favorite local bar. It's super rad. If I had been poisoning my body with alcohol for the last 4 days, I would totally go in and take a look at the selection, but looking at alcohol actually makes my stomach feel disgusting. But anyway, I've discovered another feature about this camera I hate. It's the really tiny record button, and it's super awkwardly located. So that's super problematic. So that's pretty random. Looks like the firefighters are doing some kind of training. Okay, another complaint about the A6500. I've been using it for about 45 minutes and the battery's dead. So, shitty battery life. I have been using it for video, and I get it, video is a pretty demanding application, but just noting battery life feels short. Like emotionally, battery life feels short. Okay, so I literally was just recording about how short the battery life was. I was complaining about it, and then the battery died, I think, in the middle of the recording. So it's about 45 minutes of battery life is what it feels like. I don't know how many times this camera's been used before, so maybe it starts higher, but like emotionally, it feels like the battery is bad. Thankfully, I have about 4 of them, so I have 3 left, so I have enough to get around for this walk. But they're all, I believe, the manufacturer's style. Let's see. Yeah, they all appear to be Sony branded batteries. So at one point, I actually thought I was going to record a vlog during the meetup, but that wasn't possible. It was very delusional of me to think that I would be recording that stuff while also doing photography and like just doing meetup stuff in general. So like, this is the one video I made just with Nick Pettit, really randomly, joking how we were going to make something, and then of course, you know, the weight of responsibility and being around people and feeling weird videotaping yourself kicked in, and I didn't. Hey, what's up? Still hanging out with Nick Pettit, famous, you know, for a lot of things. Anyway, he doesn't want to talk about it. But we're going to go meet up with some people for dinner. We're just kind of, they're not sure where they're going. So we're going to follow them, see what happens. We'll see. I assume with this many people, it's probably pizza. So we're dropping in now at the James Beard Award-winning restaurant. There's like 9 of us here. This is a few too many people, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's a random video. Another weird thing about the A6500 so far is the manual settings are crazy weird. So I know that I'm coming from using mostly Canon cameras, but the menu thing is really challenging. It's like very tiny, and it's just like a very tiny screen, so it's hard to read, and looking through the viewfinder makes it a little bit easier, but man, it is a challenging little menu. Okay, another thing, A6500 has a tiny fold out, the view screen folds out. I don't know why. It doesn't fold to the side. Like I'm not able to look at myself as a reference, like it doesn't flip out, or if it does, I'm not sure how, but it flips back strangely. It makes it a little bit more convenient for viewing, I guess if it was just resting on a table, but that's weird. That's weird so far. So side piece of random community journalism, they are really ripping up the streets over here by Alberta, and it's annoying because there's no sidewalk. No sidewalk. Okay, I may have exaggerated how bad it is. It's just this little chunk, but from where I was, it looked really bad. This is a pretty rad wall to use as a background. Makes me feel like I should be introducing music videos. Man, that's a bummer. Behind me, the Stash Tea store closed. Really sad. All right, I'm almost at Bishop's. I'm about to go get a haircut. I've been hiding my hair from you because it's ridiculous, but I will reveal it now in all its glory. I'm hoping that the new cut is short. It makes me look a lot more professional. Okay, there's a line. It's gonna be about 20 minutes before I get my haircut, so I'm gonna just wander around for a little bit. I'm gonna see if they have the copy of the movie Foxfire over at the CD Exchange. It's like shot in Portland. It was recommended on the Buffy podcast by Dennis. And then I'm gonna walk over to this weird store that I'm not cool enough to go to. So here I am. It's outside the really rad synthesizer store. It's dangerous timing because I just got paid, but I don't know how to use any of the things here. I don't know what any of them do. So anyway, just like a confluence of dangerous ingredients are coming together at the moment. But obviously I'm gonna look around. So I wasn't wearing a microphone while in the store because that made me uncomfortable. So I don't know what this tool does. I have no idea what this tool does. It's very cool looking. This is a rad looking synthesizer. Again, no idea. I guess it makes one noise at a time, but it looks like it makes a billion things. And then here's another rad synthesizer. I think these are all like several $1,000s. So it's not something you can do casually. Like, you need to have a friend. This thing I kind of know how to use, but not this version of this. Like, I've used the digital equivalent for these like sequencers, but yeah, this UI is terrible. So here's the A6500 that I used to shoot the walking around part of the video. It's pretty large with the lens attached. This is a fixed lens, pretty exciting fixed lens to use, which makes sense when you're walking around since you don't necessarily need to adjust the zoom. It's got a good size, great size when you take the lens off. It's a really compact camera. My complaints, which I think I already iterated, but you can see them here. The viewfinder flips out in a weird way, but it doesn't move to the side. So it would be challenging to get a selfie shot, like, because you can't see yourself. Though you can pretty easily hook the camera via USB into a laptop and get a shot that way through the Sony software, through their viewer software. Other concerns, record button. The record button that you use to record a movie is in a weird place. versus the location of the photo button. There are different triggers. I'm not sure why. I think it's so you can take photos while you're doing a movie, but that is interesting, weird thing. The menu system is very deep. There are a ton of different frame rate options, lots of file quality options. It's very cool. Fewer options we find, but this is it's all really cool. It's got a mini HDMI, a little mic plug-in. Here's a couple of pictures I took. I didn't take that many. Here's a before and after picture of me at the barbershop using that same fixed lens. But like, yeah, it's fun to play around with cameras. You know, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy a camera anymore without renting it first to get a sense of whether you like it or not. Because until you try to use it on a project, until you try to really work with a camera, you don't know all the challenges involved. And like, there's so much to learn from every different camera. Like, I don't know if I will necessarily want to buy an A6500. It's fun, but there's so many other Sonys I need to try. I need to compare it to the A7S, A7S Mark II, and see how they compare. You know, this is my first serious video camera that I purchased. It's not a DSLR. Has a lens built in. It's a servo style lens, which is pretty unusual anymore. So, but that means you can't change out the lens for a different type of lens, you know, which is a really exciting feature, and it's a very modern feature for almost all DSLR style cameras. But yeah, I didn't know you could rent cameras when I first started. I just thought you had to. I should have just rented more cameras to learn about the different options that are available, and you know, that would have been smarter. You know, frequently buy things to own them and master them without a plan. At least in my case. I say we, but that's something I would do. So the other great thing about this camera is accepted SD cards. That was the main like differentiator between this, and then there's another P2 style Panasonic at the time that had proprietary memory cards. Always try to avoid proprietary memory cards. Jeez, terrible. Hey, well, first of all, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to be using a pop filter from now on. I realize how terrible that sounds after editing my own audio, so that was a good reminder, and I'm sorry you had to suffer for it. Yeah, this was a really random thing. I wandered around, used a camera. It's probably mostly a camera review. This is probably mostly a camera review episode. Well, also there's a little bit of flirtation with a dangerous new hobby like synthesizers, which, as you know, I'm like getting more into music, so that could be a thing. So that's a little concerning. As far as the review side, it was a little half-assed, though. I am impressed to actually use the product. I feel a lot of people, when they do reviews of anything, they don't really, they show the physicality of the product. They'll do an unboxing, but they don't really play around with it as much. So excited to show you the basically out-of-the-box footage from that. Not now, this is a webcam, but the earlier footage for sure. But yeah, if you guys want to do more technology reviews, if you enjoy that style, I could do more of that. That could become my hobby. You know, I could also review the things around me. I could review this Pixel phone. I got a PlayStation Vita over here. I've got a probiotic root beer. You know, whatever you guys are interested in, just let me know. And be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, share, comment. I look at all the comments. Yeah, thanks so much. Talk to you later.